that people have started embracing their creativity more and more. And with this happening, creative industries will only continue to grow in importance, which means you're at the right place and in the right space. But do you have the right mind? Welcome to the beginner's mindset. So, you're starting or restarting? That's great. Do you know that beginners actually have an unfair advantage when it comes to even the most established industries? I know, there's always that notion of positioning ourselves as experts and giving value, but for the most part, what actually gets us ahead is thinking like a beginner. So you're actually in a very good place. There is a concept in Zen Buddhism called Shoshin, which means beginner's mind. It means letting go of your preconceived notions and having an attitude of openness when studying about a subject. It emphasizes the importance of approaching problems as a beginner would. Now, why is this an advantage? Because the only constant in this world is change. And in the creative industry, changes are fast. We have seen these changes unfold ever since the term creative industries began to be used about 20 years ago. Right after 2020, we saw a lot of radical shifts and disruption because of the way consumers' behaviors changed from the pandemic. What does this mean? It means that people have started embracing their creativity more and more, and with this happening, creative industries will only continue to grow in importance, which means you're at the right place and in the right space. But do you have the right mind? A beginner's mindset is highly adaptable because you have the ability to let go of your preconceptions and any limitation brought about by old knowledge. Now, there might be things before that has worked, but will no longer work in this day and age. In order to adapt to changing times, we have to be open to asking questions, to listening more, and to be willing to learn again. The resilience and adaptiveness to learning new skills will always give you an edge in a fast-changing creative space. So don't just base your next move on what any influencer will tell you, because strategies will always differ from one entrepreneur to another. This being said, how do you adapt a beginner's mindset? First, be vigilant. Don't just accept anything as gospel truth, even if it comes from self-proclaimed experts. And yes, this applies even to what I'm saying. Having a beginner's mindset doesn't just mean acting on everything that everyone says. It also means still having that guard up and being careful about where you get information from. Accept information with an open mind, but be responsible about acting on them. A beginner's mind always asks more questions before acting. Second, engage more. The creative industry is all about connecting dots. And learning how to solve problems requires you to speak up and ask more questions. As much as you can, engage in conversation. If you get stuck, use 3 simple words. Tell me more. Third, gather data. While audiences, consumers, and clients will always want the transformation narrative, the justification of any purchase will always be driven by logic. Your work as a creative does not end with a closed invoice or getting them to sign on the dotted line. It only begins. Gathering as much relevant data as you can will always help you solve business problems using tangible metrics. And when goals are met, your clients are served well. Fourth, ideate and incubate. When you ideate, don't reject any ideas, even if it seems far-fetched. Remember, a beginner's mindset is still all about openly accepting information and being open to different kinds of solutions. But don't just act on something irrationally. This is where the process of incubation comes in. In creative thinking, incubation is allowing your brain to process all the information while you rest or work on something mundane like washing dishes or taking a shower. Allow your brain to connect the dots and strategize within itself, and let your ideas progress. Finally, nurture your mind. Always be on the lookout for good resources. Read more books, listen to informative podcasts, watch more nourishing stuff on the internet, and always look at things with a curious mind. When you come across someone whose ideals differ from you, approach it with the thought that you're learning a new perspective. Be open to new learning even if you feel like you already know a subject or a field. Stay fresh. Remember, once you tell yourself that you're ripe, you're ready to rock. Ready to take on your business with a beginner's mindset? Let's begin. In your workbook, you have a couple of prompts to help encourage your beginner's mindset. Go through that, take your time, and when you're done, proceed to the next video. In the next video, let's talk about redefining what a niche is and do you really need it to start?